Hello and welcome. So let's take a fast look at the KAME tank. You see it's a big fat clunker. Let's first check out the armor model. It's an absolute glass cannon, everything can penetrate it. You can have some lucky bounce on the turret, but normally everything will just punch through you. You also are not really able to side scrape because of this part here. Side armor is also just around 45mm effectively. So this means against a lot of HE shells actually you will have problems. Let's check out the soft stats. I maxed out this tank here for an example. Putting in the equipment I would recommend and of course the best of it just so we have an impression of what is possible. Choosing here the Bond vents, the improved final drive and the bond stabilizer, together of course with food, and those crew skills here, province on arms, concealment with camo paint, of course the few range skills, the gun handling skills, also off-road driving pretty important to reach your maximum speed, and just for spicing it up a little, quick aiming. So with that setup we would reach around 2300 DPM, which is more or less bad actually. 330 alpha, mediocre. Penetration 235 on the standard shell, pretty bad. Premium shells have 280, still bad for a premium round actually. And on top of that, it's also the same type, so 2 times AP. You just have to use the pay-to-win ammunition in this tank, actually. HE does 430 damage with 53mm of penetration, so that's pretty standard. Well, maybe not the alpha, but the penetration. With that setup, we will reach a reload time of around 36 seconds, which is pretty bad. But here we actually reach now the gimmick of the tank, which is the 5 clip size. If you manage to penetrate every shot, you will have a clip damage of 1650. Intra-clip reload is pretty fast with 1.5 seconds. Now we finally come to the good news. You have a pretty nice aim time with 1.6 around that. Dispersion can be lowered to around 0.26, but that Japanese tank has this weird cooldown mechanic. So after one shot, you have to wait around 3 seconds so the gun cools down to get the good dispersion. If not, you have an eye-widening dispersion of around 0.52. So you have to be pretty close to the enemy to actually make your whole clip if you want to have a high chance of being successful. The dispersion factors can be lowered pretty good to around 0.14. And also after firing, it keeps pretty small with around 1.8. So the gun can be very nice if it's cooled down. So for early game sniping, that would be possible here. If you are in late game or mid game and pretty close to the enemy, you have to make up your mind if you want to try to dump in the whole clip. I think in late game you can trade pretty well HP against damage with this tank. 55 km/h top speed is also pretty nice. It also reaches with top speed. Power to weight ratio with around 20.3 is also pretty nice. You can compare this with a Progetto 46 around that. It also has a quite fast tank traverse speed if you use the Bond final drive with that thing. The range resistance doesn't look so well. It might be the case that it will be a little bit sluggish when it starts driving. 1650 HP, where you're, well, more or less mediocre for a medium tank. Camo values actually are pretty bad, even if you skill the crew, so don't expect to stay hidden for a longer period of time. The fuel range with the setup is around 450, which is fine in the end and workable. If you see this tank on the battlefield, just shoot at it. It's pretty much an easy glass cannon. If you get hit from it from far away, don't be too afraid. The next shots it will fire most likely will not hit you because the dispersion is so bad after firing because of that cooldown mechanic. Make sure not to fight against it in close combat because then the clip becomes really ugly. I think that's all you need to know about the KAME. Good luck fighting it on the battlefield. I wouldn't gamble for any of these tanks in the boxes, but you have to make up your mind if that is worth it for you. Thanks for watching and cheers bros.